You know, I can't help but think with Underworld Awakening that it would have been a better movie if it was about the day that the vampires and lichens became public knowledge to human beings and then the purges started, rather than just going over that in a quick overview and 12 years later. Feels like a massively missed opportunity. Welcome to Durbania. I'm Durbin, and I'm going to read way too much into Underworld Awakening. If you want to check out my Underworld Blood Wars review, you can click the link. Also, I got my other Underworld reading way too much into's done. I read into the other three, so you could check those out as well. And look at this Christmas gift I got. Durbania. My parents got this made for me for Christmas. Merry Christmas, Durbin. I thought this was so cool. Thanks, Mom and Dad. So, as I'm reading way too much into Underworld Awakening, I couldn't help but note that really what the heart of this film seemed to be is change. The war changes. Human beings somehow find out about vampires and lichens, so the whole war changes. All humanity unifies to come against vampires and lichens, driving both of them underground, driving lichens to the brink of complete extinction, and vampires to the point where they're just cowering with their tails between their legs underground. The war has changed. And then you have Celine, who gets knocked out. She gets put under for 12 years, didn't even know she was pregnant. When she wakes up 12 years later, she can't find Michael anywhere. Turns out she has a 12-year-old daughter. Her entire world has changed. And if you watch this movie, you find that there's a very natural human thing in all of this that happens when there's change. We look for something solid to anchor our souls to. I don't know about you, but I've seen a lot of change in my life. And I know when I've experienced a lot of change in my life, I am looking for something solid and unchanging to anchor my soul to. So you have this vampire coven that we get introduced to. They're just trying to hide underground. So they've anchored their soul to survival, their hope for survival. So they're just hiding out underground, and really it is no existence. You have the lichens who have anchored their hopes and their soul to just trying to be super lichens. I mean, they've kidnapped Celine's daughter. They're trying to harvest her genes and genetics to make themselves immune to silver and super strong so that they can reclaim the world. And then you have Celine, who in her final monologue in the movie, I still think has succumbed to vampire pride. Because at the final monologue in the movie with her voiceover is, "We are going to reclaim this world." It's like, oh, Celine! The vampire pride. Vampires thinking that they are the best and better than humans, better than lichens, better than everybody. And I just don't feel like that's the place to anchor the soul. But the one place in this movie where I felt was the most healthy and best place for their soul to be anchored was when Celine discovered her daughter. And discovered there was a mother-daughter connection and bond there, and a mother-daughter love. What did she do? She accepted that love. She didn't fight it. She didn't resist it. She accepted that love. And in that relationship, even though it was brand new, there was an anchor to the soul, and there was an anchor to the soul that was good. In the midst of all that change, there was an anchor that built her up, built her daughter up, and built them up. And it's amazing how anchoring your soul to the right thing makes such a huge difference. I've had a lot of change in my life. I moved from Ohio to California. In the midst of that time, my sister was in a fatal accident. She survived, but it was difficult. It was a change in her life forever. It's a change in our lives forever. It's hard when change gets introduced into life. So I found, just like Celine, anchoring her soul to love, anchoring her soul to a deep and meaningful relationship, I have found anchoring my soul to that relationship with Jesus has continued to bring life and joy and growth. That no matter what change is going on, I found Jesus is the same yesterday, today, and forever. And when I anchor my soul to Him, I find true fulfillment. And when things get difficult, rather than being defeated and crushed, I find myself being strengthened and growing. So if you watched Underworld Awakening, what do you read into this movie? Make sure to let me know in the comments. And while you're there in the comments, hit that subscribe button, become a Durbanian, and that little bell by the subscribe button, click that bell. That way you get notified the moment I drop a new video. That way you're always on top of all the cool stuff I got going on here. And I got a lot of cool stuff coming up here in February, throughout this month in January. So hit that subscribe button. I'm Durbin. Thank you for checking out Durbania.